All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. But regardless of where you're joining from, a huge welcome to many familiar faces who are joining us for another partner briefing. And of course, I know that this month we probably have an especially large number of new guests joining us with our AI training today. I'm sure drumming up some interest from some new partners as well. For those who I haven't had the chance to meet yet. I'm Peter Logley. I lead our North America Workspace for EDU channel and based here in our Chicago office. And I'm excited to get into the meat of today's content, which we'll get to in just a second. In the meantime, while we give folks a minute or two to get settled in, just going to run through a couple of logistics for those of you who may be joining for the first time. So first thing is we do our best to answer questions throughout the briefing. So if you're joining for the first time, you will see there is a Q&A section just below your screen where you can submit questions in real time. We have a group of specialists from a variety of different teams at Google monitoring those questions and doing their best to get back to you in real time. Depending on how we do in terms of getting through all of our content in 50 to 60 minutes, we will take as many of those questions as we can live in our Q&A section at the end of the training, or the briefing. So do stick around if you want to check that out. And like I said, we'll do our best to answer many of those before we even get to the Q&A section. Other housekeeping reminder, as we always do, just reminding all of you that what's shared here is confidential and proprietary and is under the NDA that your organization has signed. So we ask that you please keep the information shared here in this group and do not share externally, as it is only intended for partners at this time. All right, and with that said, we will jump into the content, as I mentioned. So a few announcements to get us started, which I will run us through, and then I will pass the baton over to Lance and Clay, who are joining us to talk about kind of our overall perspective on AI, the current offerings we have, and hopefully some helpful tidbits for you to incorporate those into your own customer meetings, pitches you're giving, marketing materials, etc. And then, like I said, time permitting, we'll spend 5 or 10 minutes on Q&A at the end. So with that, let's jump into this month's announcements. And it's crazy to say that this month is November, and we're just about to jump in to the holiday season. Crazy how quickly 2023 has flown by. But announcement number one, kind of building on the AI theme of the day. Just a quick recap here. I'm going to save all the AI content for Lance and Clay in just a few minutes, but we did want to clarify today that in a couple of previous briefings, we talked about the introductory 20% discount on our Duet AI SKU. I believe that was mentioned as expiring at the end of the year. We are clarifying today that discount actually is available and orders will be accepted up until the 15th of January next year. So January 15th, 2024 is the cutoff for that introductory discount where you can get all of the great features and functionality that you're seeing outlined here with Duet AI. And just quick reminder for anybody who missed it, at this time, Duet AI is only available to users 18 years and above. But do reach out to us with any questions on that ordering process or specifics around the discount. But we, like I said, did just want to make sure everybody was on the same page that if orders slip into the first few weeks of January, we will be able to process those with the introductory discount. All right, announcement number two. This has been a team favorite here at Google. A lot of excitement about the potential for this one. So our teams have worked really hard over the last few weeks, and we are thrilled to announce that we have launched what we are calling the Adoption Trends and Scorecard in your Partner Sales Console for all of your education customers. So what this means is if you are in your Partner Sales Console, which some of you may be very familiar with, others may have never seen before, but it is the tool that all of our transacting happens in. All of our Workspace for Education transacting happens in. So when a customer submits an order, our PPS team sends an offer to your partner sales console. That is where the offer is accepted and where all license management happens. You can search by each customer within that console. And when you go into that customer, you will now see this data by clicking View Dashboard in the partner's listing in your partner sales console. This is entirely self-serve and will give customer level product adoption insights. You can read them in real time in partner sales console. You can also download them into a PDF and take them to your sales team member, your customer success team member who may be preparing for a customer success meeting or renewal meeting with the customer. And what we find is it's just a really good overview of what features the customer is using very regularly and other features that maybe are being used very infrequently to kind of, one, get the pulse before you go into that conversation on where the customer's at, but to really help ask some pointed questions and helpful questions in those conversations and meetings. So you can see on this next slide a little bit kind of what it looks like in that PDF format we talked about. We'll give you all the basic customer information on the top, and then we'll go through a wide range of features and functionality with some really helpful metrics in terms of how broadly it's being used. One thing I will call out, you will see a couple of premium features, specifically in Meet, in the scorecard today. But by and large, the features listed here are not premium features, right? You can see right at the top, Gmail, Calendar, Drive, Docs, Sheets, Slides. So really want to call out, we do not envision this as a replacement for the product usage reviews that many of you have done throughout 2023. That's really where we see more opportunity to dig into premium feature usage. Understandable why some may see this and immediately think this could replace a PER, but our belief is they're really two different motions. This is kind of your preparation for a conversation, and the PER is where we really dig deep into premium feature usage. So yeah, just to kind of close this out, you see one more view in the scorecard that you'll see, and you'll see, kind of that overtime trend. See some seasonality in there, of course, for our EDU customers when we talk about winter break and summer break, but you'll be able to also kind of build in that trend analysis that you can see over that time-lapsed view of different features. So would love your feedback on this. If you've already had a chance to go in and check it out, if you haven't, encourage you to do so. And please let us know how you're finding it valuable, or where we need to continue to build on this to make it more valuable for your conversations with customers. All right, announcement number 3, and this is a new campaign alert, so a new marketing campaign that we're excited to share with all of you. And the genesis of this one here is we know that unrealized product value continues to be a concern for your customers, for your organizations, and of course, we all know that when there's higher feature usage, higher likelihood of renewal, higher likelihood of that long-term sticky relationship. So in Partner Marketing Studio, you will now see this campaign live, and it is all around customer onboarding. So a series of emails that you can put together into a campaign for both your Chrome OS and your Workspace for Education customers to help them as they onboard, make sure they are using all of the great features and functionality that they have access to. So this is live in English for our customers and partners in North Am and EMEA today. We will launch in 14 additional languages before the end of 2023. So just like the scorecard, would love your feedback on this as you get in and have a chance to use it, and would love to know how we can continue to evolve this and make it more useful to you and your teams. All right, rounding into announcement number 4, a little bit more on the technical side here, but something we're also super excited to get into a beta launch mode. This is the Google Workspace for Education license management tool, and this is a Sheets-based tool. It is sponsored by Google, and it is available at no charge to all of your Workspace for Education paid edition customers. So within that Sheets interface, allows customers to do a boatload of really critical license management functionality. So first off, Sheets, familiar, easy to use, and really, I think kind of the core functionality is allows customers to use that UI to assign and unassigned paid WEFI licenses based on OU or other groups, including even dynamic groups that customers may have in their environment. and the ability to keep those licenses in sync even as customers are moved in and out of OUs or groups on the customer side. A couple other things that the license tool does is you have the ability to exclude groups, inactive users, or based on policy, for example, number of days since login, and of course suspended users. One really cool thing is you do have the ability to simulate a sync before actually modifying any licenses to kind of do that preemptive testing to make sure that there's no issues with the changes you're making or with the changes the sync is running. And you also have the ability to update licenses once as that one-off sync or automatically as more of a regularly scheduled continuous sync. So a lot of really positive feedback on this one early on from a handful of customers who have started to play around with it in beta, but we're hopeful that many, many more customers will start to use this tool with your guidance and tutelage over the next few weeks. So theme of the day, love your feedback on how this is landing with customers and how you're seeing it used out in the market. All right, last announcement for me before I pass the show on to Lance and Clay, and this is all a quick recap of our roadmap that went live on Partner Advantage recently, and we wanted to call out just a few things in that Q4 roadmap that again have generated some excitement here or with the customers that we've had a chance to tie off with. So first thing that customers are super excited about from that Q4 roadmap is classroom analytics, which is now generally available. And this is really designed to help EDU leaders get better visibility into classroom data, which we've heard loud and clear for a long time here. Classroom is such a powerful tool. It would be amazing for me as a superintendent or building principal or director of curriculum to really have some powerful analytics on how it's being used. So, things like number of assignments or percentage of assignments is being completed, how grades are trending, how classroom adoption is trending throughout a building or throughout a district. And also we've heard this is super useful for teachers to get a centralized view on classroom activity for each class they teach. So if you have 7 periods of chemistry, some really easy ways to identify which students across those 7 classes might need some extra support, or just overall kind of how use is varied between those 7 different periods. Has been in beta all year, is finally generally available. So a lot of customers will be familiar with it. Others will be ecstatic to get the chance to use it for the first time. But please do, ask customers if they're aware of this, make sure they're comfortable using it, and let us know what the general consensus is as you're out talking with customers. Switching gears to the technical side of the roadmap, and this is another really popular feature, context-aware access. I talked about doing PERS throughout 2023 a few minutes ago. I think probably the most common light bulb or aha moment we had throughout those PERS in 2023 was admins not aware of how powerful context-aware access was to restrict what users can do based on where they are. If they're in district, if they're out of state, if they're on the other side of the country, restricting what they might need access to based on where they are, of course, to keep bad actors from halfway across the world from accessing some of those tools. But the addition to context-aware access is we have added what we're calling monitor mode. So admins can use monitor mode to actually test the policy context-aware access without blocking user access. So allows them to really understand how the policy will impact users, maybe even specific users in a specific OU before they enact that policy and potentially, face the wrath of disruptions or, inability to access critical tools from critical users. So like I said, really excited to see how customers use this. We're excited to build this into our per motion in 2024 to make sure customers are not only aware of context-aware access, but aware of how they can really understand the right way to use it before implementing policy across the organization. All right, coming into the home stretch here, we are excited to introduce Chromebook Plus on the Chrome OS side of the house. So really, this is a new product category, and we're really hoping that this is part of our continued and sustained efforts to elevate the brand perception of Chromebooks as, not just your student device, but a really high-end device that can do anything and everything your teacher or your administrator needs to drive innovation and instruction in their classroom. So every device that we are putting into this Chromebook Plus category has the same best-in-class security management that IT leaders know and have trusted for students for years, but where it really differentiates itself is twice the power, speed, memory, and storage that some of those student devices may have traditionally had in customer environments. They also all have a full HD 1080 IPS screen and webcam and exclusive software features like enhanced video conferences and FII syncs. So please do bring this up in conversations with your customers. I think probably the most compelling part to most customers is we think it's at a really affordable price point, starting at $399 for devices in the Chromebook Plus category. And if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your Chrome partner manager, who I'm sure is well versed on all the devices in the Chromebook Plus category. As we wrap things up here on the announcement section, if you want to see all of these great roadmap announcements and product announcements before we get to the partner briefing, or some that we don't have the bandwidth to cover in the announcement section here, they are always available on Partner Advantage. So once you're into Partner Advantage, click on the products header. It will open up a drop-down option. Click on Google for Education, and you will see all of those what's new updates updated on a monthly basis right there in Partner Advantage. So if you need any help tracking that section down or getting logged into Partner Advantage, reach out to your channel lead, reach out to Leah, who's our great EduCell partner advisor. We'd be happy to work through those with you and make sure you have access to all the great content that's updated there. So with that said, I, as promised, am going to pass the show over to Lance and Clay, who are going to run through what I'm sure most of you came here for today, a great overview of AI in the future of education.
Great stuff. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate your effort there. That's a lot of announcements. I think we managed to have so many announcements each month as we go through these briefings. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Lance Escobar. As many of you may be aware, I am the EMEA channel lead for Workspace for Education. I'm based here in the UK, near the city of Norwich in Norfolk. And today I'm really excited. I'm joined by my fantastic colleague, Clay Smith, and we're going to talk to you about AI and the future of education. Clay, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, I'm Clay Smith. I'm a solutions engineer based in New York City. I've been spending a lot of time presenting on AI, and I'm excited to be here with Lance to take you through the tools that we have to offer for education. Well, let's start off with looking at a video to get us started here.
Advancing Education with AI by Google. These days, we can all see how AI is revolutionizing the way we live, work, and imagine our future. At Google, we've been preparing for this for quite some time. Nearly a decade ago, we began working to develop and harness the power of AI to help everyone gain an understanding of its potential. We also formulated our own set of principles for applying AI responsibly. Many of our products and services use AI to help people connect more easily with the information they seek and with each other. And we're helping to expedite breakthroughs in fields ranging from healthcare to communication, where AI has the potential to improve billions of lives. Today, AI has the power to transform education like never before. Taking what we've learned through years of building classroom technology and working alongside educators from around the world, we're developing AI in ways that will serve as an insightful tool, a thought partner that elevates educators as the heart and soul of the educational experience and supercharges productivity for educational leaders. With AI applied in the context of our educational tools, educators can choreograph learning experiences more effectively and efficiently. Creating lessons and presentations can take minutes instead of hours. Dashboards can reveal real-time insights into each student's progress and even their process, all of which gives educators more time to invest in their students and in themselves. For students, AI can help make learning more personal with tools that offer real-time feedback to help supplement the educator's instruction. It can help improve reading proficiency. And if students struggle, educators can be alerted sooner of the need for personalized attention. AI can also help unlock creativity, freeing students to reimagine the limits of what's possible. And that's only where we are today. Imagine a future where lessons are adaptable to each student's unique learning style. Accessibility features enable a fully inclusive classroom, and AI continues to learn and develop ways to help both students and educators realize their fullest potential. This is the future of education.
So AI is one of the most profound technologies humanity is working on. Whether it's helping doctors detect diseases earlier or enabling people to access information on their own language, AI opens up new opportunities that could significantly improve billions of lives. We believe AI is going to help learners, educators, and school communities unlock potential in ways we can't even imagine yet. From unleashing creativity to offering personal support to supercharging productivity, AI can advance the quest for understanding in all kinds of powerful ways and interesting.
Cool. So we know that AI is important and we're just beginning to understand its potential. So before we go any further, let's just define AI, Gen AI, machine learning, and LLMs. These are terms that you're probably hearing a lot about, but might not necessarily know exactly what they are. So firstly, AI. AI in itself, artificial intelligence, is a principle that is a part of computer science. AI encompasses the following subcategories, and we've listed them out here. So we have Gen AI. Gen AI, or generative AI, this is a form of AI that uses a vast data set to take a prompt and then turn it into a new piece of information or a new piece of content, such as text, images, audio, or video. So for example, you could go to Bard and then you could ask Bard, what is a cat? And Bard will then generate a response for you to tell you from what it's learned what a cat is. And so this differs from discriminative AI. That is used to determine what things are, and then it categorizes them. So for example, Google Photos can review your images to determine that your last photo is of a cat. So machine learning is another term you might come across, and this is a technique that's used to train a model. Machine learning can either be supervised or unsupervised. Supervised learning requires the data to be pre-labeled, parameters already known, so it's a nice, clean, clear set of data, whereas unsupervised learning is more abstract, and this is where the data may or may not have parameters or labels predefined, and it allows the model to then learn those parameters and then learn trends within that data. And then finally, LLM, or large language model. These models are used to generate text. They can understand, predict, and generate their own text and mimic human language. So Bard uses Google's Palm 2. This is Pathways Learning Language Model, version 2. And this LLM is trained on a vast data set. For example, Palm 2 improves on Palm 1 with multilingual and diverse pre-training mixtures. So this includes hundreds of human and programming languages, mathematical equations, scientific papers, and web pages.
When it comes to AI at Google, and by extension, Google for Education, we follow a multi-layer strategy that includes our principles, our products, and our programs.
So let's get started with our principles. In 2017, Google announced itself as an AI-first company. And then in 2018, we were one of the first companies to publish a set of AI principles. Learning from the experience of the internet with all of its benefits and challenges, we built smart checks and balances into our products, designing for social benefit from the ground up. Our first AI principle, that AI should be socially beneficial, captures the critical balance at stake. The overall likely benefits should substantially exceed the foreseeable risks and downsides. Our approach is one of balance, both bold and responsible. Not only do we define 7 principles to build with our products, We also identified 4 applications that our products will not be developed for. Identifying what we will not do is as critical as what we will do. At Google, we apply all these AI principles to our work each day when developing educational products. These are just some examples of questions that we may ask when applying these principles to our education tools, such as, how will this benefit educators and students? Is what we're doing here appropriate for education? Is it responsible, safe, and secure? And does it provide leaders with visibility, insights, and control? While AI feels revolutionary, it's also integrated into the tools we use each day. I mean, who here uses Gmail? Now, if you answered no, then you should be. But if you are, well done, because Gmail has a built-in spam filter, and that is powered by AI. It allows us to block more than 99.9% of spam, phishing, and malware attempts. That is over 100 million phishing attempts blocked by Gmail every single day. Other popular tools like search and YouTube also use AI to improve the user experience, as do many more.
In addition to AI being in tools that we know and trust, advances in AI or Gen AI are opening up exciting new possibilities with tools like Bard, our generative AI experiment that enables people to explore, learn, and create by collaborating directly with Google's most advanced conversational models. Bard is now available in 180 countries in English, with Japanese and Korean language support and 40 more languages coming soon. And we removed the waitlist. We also want Bard to be a home for your creativity, productivity, and curiosity. So we're working to connect Bard with helpful Google applications such as Workspace, Maps, and Lens, and many more partners, including Kayak, OpenTable, ZipRecruiter, Instacart, Wolfram, and Khan Academy. In addition, Notebook LM, our AI-first notebook experiment, is rolling out to small groups of users in the US through Google Labs. Originally announced at I/O as Project Tailwind, Notebook LM uses a large language model together with your notes and documents to summarize information, explain complex topics, and help to generate new ideas. And finally, let's talk about our programs. A big component of being thoughtful with new technology is our commitment to partnering with schools and educators along the way. At Google for Education, we always say we don't just build for educators, we build with them. Through Google for Education's pilot program, we work with millions of educators and students around the world to test and provide us with feedback on our latest features before making them available in our products. By listening to how teachers are using our products and understanding and addressing challenges, we can be thoughtful about how we implement them. We also roll out new features gradually, ensuring that schools stay in control of what works best for them. We believe that when we work together, we can build for all.
So with every new technology, there are unknowns and questions, and AI is no different. At Google, we're aware that there are significant questions and concerns, and we keep these in mind when developing and testing our products, using our principles to guide what we do and how we build it. A central team is dedicated to ethical reviews of new AI and advanced technologies before launch, working with internal domain experts in machine learning, fairness, security, privacy, human rights, the social sciences, and for cultural context, Google employee resource groups. The process for review goes through the following steps. So step 1 would be intake. Any team can request AI principle advice. Reviewers also consider an ongoing pipeline of new AI research papers, product ideas, and other projects. Step 2 would be analysis. Reviewers analyze the scale and scope of a technology's potential, benefits, and harms. Step 3 is the adjustment. Reviewers recommend technical evaluations, such as checking for an unfair bias in machine learning models. And then finally, step 4 is the decision. Reviewers decide whether to pursue or not to pursue the AI application under review. For example, Cloud AI Hub and text-to-speech. We believe that when it comes to AI, and this certainly applies to the educational setting, it's important to keep humans in the loop. AI is there as a thought partner. It's not intended to take away the educator's agency. Our goal is to help AI to be an enabler and a thought partner to help educators so they can help their students realize their fullest potential. Educators are and will continue to be the heart and soul of the educational experience.
Today, we'll talk specifically about AI in education and how AI can be used to help elevate educators around the world, making learning more personal and supercharge productivity for leaders. Let's start with how AI can elevate educators in terms of helping them help themselves. As technology transforms the educational landscape, the role of educators continues to evolve as choreographers of learning. They still provide access to information, but they now also need to ensure that students have the conditions to construct their knowledge from all the information that's out there. At the same time that educators are expected to work in an expanded role, schools around the world are reporting a shortage. Now, this idea of elevating the educator is not new. What is new is that AI allows us to achieve this at a speed and scale that's never before possible. Which is more important because at the same time that educators are expected to work in an expanded role, schools around the world are reporting a shortage of teachers. We believe that AI can help educators have more time back to reinvest in themselves and their students, and thereby making the role of the educator more manageable. Last year, we interviewed over 90 EDU experts in 24 countries and asked them what trends are driving the future of education. Today, we'll talk about the role of technology in addressing these trends and advancing that future. We've had great ambitions in the education space for a long time and now have technology that is powerful enough to realize these ambitions. Interactive questions for YouTube videos will allow teachers to more easily create engaging video lessons. After selecting a YouTube video, educators can either create their own questions or select and edit suggested questions that are auto-generated with AI based on video captions. With over 3 billion users and more than 10 million paying customers who rely on it every day to get things done, Google Workspace is the world's most popular productivity tool. With the introduction of Duet AI, we added AI as a real-time collaborator. Since its launch, thousands of companies and more than 1 million trusted testers have used Duet AI as a powerful collaboration partner that can act as a coach, source of inspiration, and productivity booster, all while ensuring every user and organization has control over their data. Let's jump into a live demo here. So I'm going to share just a blank doc with Duet and AI included in here. Now, let's imagine that I'm an educator, and as an educator, I'm teaching 5th grade reading comprehensive. I can actually use Duet AI to help me write. So in this case, I'm going to have it write me a story of a dog, a horse, and a pig having a grand adventure in New York City. And it's going to write it at a 5th grade level. Now, one of the things to note about these large language models is that they're very predictive. They're predictive models. They're not necessarily specific knowledge models. They're really great at creation. So here we have a story that uses a very common name that we see in literature, Sparky, for a dog. We're talking about New York City, and we're going to some very common New York City places. There is also a horse named Harry and a pig named Penelope. So a bit of alliteration in how this has worked. From here, I can actually use the model to create some reading comprehension questions. So just by popping in a request for some reading comprehensions, it will look at the information that's in the document and provide me feedback on that. Now, it's good to note that this tool is enterprise grade in how it works. And it looks like I just wiped that out. Let's do that again. So everything you put into these models, it is completely safe for education. So here I have a couple of reading comprehension questions, and I, as the educator, can advance these, keep them simpler, however I want to work with it. Now, maybe I also want to work with my students to provide something imagery that goes along with this story. I can use Duet AI within slides to create some imagery. So here I'm going to ask to create an image of a dog, a pig, and a horse in New York City. And these images can be used in all manner of things. And here we go. I actually like this one. And I can actually copy this from slides, or I could move my story into slides. And there we go. There's my dog, pig, and a horse in New York City. Now, if I were to do this the traditional way, I would have used something like Google Images to search for the same sort of thing. Let's see what we get from Google Images. Probably not great images that I would want to use in education. So it may be a lot better to rely on something like Duet AI to get almost exactly what we need. Perhaps I'm also working with my students with their reading comprehension, and I need to get them a list of books for reading. So here I can create a reading list of 10 books for the 5th grade. This will produce a list that I can choose to modify or use as is with my students. And let's see what we get back. Thankfully, it only takes a few moments to do this. And there we go. So these are some book selections. These are about 5th grade. So I will go ahead and insert this, and I get some further information in here as well. Age ranges, summaries, and that sort of thing. Perhaps I also want to work with my parents. So I can actually use Duet AI in Gmail, and I can actually have it help me write an email, and I can use that same book list with that email. So I'll copy this over into my email here, and we'll go ahead and create an email for our parents. This is something that, as an educator might take me a little bit longer to actually craft and write, but in a matter of moments, we have a quick email to send off to parents. The nice thing I like about this is also the ability to refine. I can elaborate the response, formalize it, or shorten it. So that's a quick view of Duet AI. And let's pop back to presentation. Now, it is also good to note that the demo that you just saw is also available in demogfe.com. So you do have access to that, and you can run the demo that you just experienced from there. We'll leave you off here on this section with some resources for educators that we'll get to you later.
Thanks, Clay. I love that demo, and it's great to see the story seems to keep evolving. I love how it's you predict the names, etc. inside there. It's really interesting. So now let's have a talk about how we are supporting educators to make learning more personal for students. So the shift towards making learning more personal is another trend from the future of education research. Now, the desire to make learning more personal is not new. For decades, educators have wrestled with this question. What is new are the tools that we now have to make this a reality. With AI, we can now imagine a future where truly personal and even personalized learning is possible. Not only can this help an individual student, personal learning experiences also have the potential to close equity gaps in education by providing all learners with the appropriate support and materials that they need to learn, regardless of their ability or background. So let's jump into some products that are helping to provide students with a personal learning experience. We know that educators are especially dedicated to making learning more personal by providing individual assistance to students. We're making it easier for educators with the help of AI to orchestrate learning with their students with practice sets in Google Classroom. Personal learning comes in the form of targeted, immediate, real-time feedback and support. So when that student is stuck on a problem, they can work through it as if they had a personal tutor. Continuing with practice sets, as teachers add questions to their practice set, they'll see learning skills suggested by the help of AI that map to each of those questions, like solving equations with decimals or writing a thesis statement. A teacher can select a skill, so students can receive helpful hints and resources when they need help. And soon, educators will be able to manage those resources and add their own. With auto grading, note this one is not actually driven by AI and insights. Educators can immediately see individual and class level performance and where their students may need support in order to guide their instruction. As more content is being read online, we want to make sure text is accessible and easy to navigate. Coming in M115, we're bringing read-only or reading mode to Google Chrome browser on all laptops. Reading mode helps improve comprehension and make web copy accessible with the ability to adjust text, font, size, spacing, and background colors. AI is used to extract the core text to increase reader focus, and the text-to-speech tool allows for the text to be read out loud. It lets you open a side panel that you can use to customize the font, the size, and the spacing of the text to make the reading experience more comfortable. It also pulls out the core text from any distracting elements that may be on the screen, so it's much easier to focus. This is especially useful for those with dyslexia or any other reading disabilities who may find it challenging to skim texts against different background colors and designs. Plus, you can use our built-in text-to-speech tools to then have the text be read out loud in reading mode side panel. Students can also use live captions across Chrome browser to be displayed in real time. Now, this makes audio accessible for all learners, especially for those who are either hard of hearing or deaf. It works across social and video sites, podcasts, radio content, personalized video libraries such as Google Photos, embedded video players, and most web-based video and audio chat services. It also works on Android. So with a single tap, live caption automatically captions speech on your device, and you can use it on media such as videos, photos, phone calls, video calls, audio messages, and even podcasts. The Screencast app enables educators and students to record, trim, and share a video and view transcribed and searchable content on their Chromebooks. It automatically creates a custom library of educational content in Google Drive. Educators can create more inclusive learning in and out of the classroom with real-time transcriptions that can be translated into the students' or the family's native language. And we support up to 30 different languages on M111 to help foster participation, communication, and accessibility. Students can learn at their own pace, search by keyword, and replay a section or a specific part of the content. So many of you may be familiar with Read Along. In 2020, the Read Along mobile app launched in over 180 countries in 9 different languages. And it uses a speech-based reading tutor to provide personalized assistance to help students along their reading journey. Now, with the new Read Along integration within Classroom, teachers can assign reading activities based on a story's lexile measurement or selected grade level to support differentiation and auto-generated insights. A reading buddy, Daya, gives students real-time feedback on their pronunciation and uses gamification to ensure and inspire. Educators can measure students' progress over time and see metrics on accuracy, speed, and areas of struggle.
Let's talk about supercharging productivity with these tools. We know that education leaders are looking holistically at how AI can help provide support at the system level, from improving productivity among office staff to elevating instruction and making learning personal for students. When it comes to boosting creativity and productivity, AI-powered tools can help save admins and office staff time on administrative work that can be reinvested in supporting educators and their students. For example, with tools like Bulk, Smart Compose, and Duet AI, educators can work faster, smarter, and support teachers and students in new and creative ways. AI can also help organizations as they manage through change. With large language model driven tools like conversational search of domain resources, AI can provide new leaders with insights into what worked and did not work under their predecessors, thereby shortening the learning curve and avoiding redundancies. When it comes to enabling innovation, teaching and learning, the right AI tools can provide leaders with the necessary insights to drive change. Education leaders have the option of tools like Vertex AI, which bring the power of machine learning to your data for deeper institutional insights. They can also help enable innovation when it comes to instruction. With tools like Duet AI, which can pull insights from class data, education leaders can have a better understanding of what types of instruction and content is most impactful for students. This data can be used to help tailor curricula, provide feedback to educators, and eventually drive innovation around teaching and learning. To get started with AI, there are 6 steps that we recommend you take. Gather your data. We need to know what data we have available and what data we may be missing. Review what is available in your community. Google offers the BigQuery export of log data for our Standard Plus customers, which districts can take advantage of to their own training purposes. Cataloging data. Identifying what you have available, the sensitivity level, confidential, public, internal only, the type of data, structured, unstructured, the level of granularity of the data, district, municipality, policy, department resources, user level, will provide a visible landscape of what you have available to work with. Reviewing and creating ethics policies. This will help to ensure you are working with data appropriate and avoiding contributing further bias. In fact, once you have policies in place, finding other areas of your systems to review the use of your data will help to ensure you are doing the right thing. You do need to know what data you are working with in order to complete this step. Identifying a platform. Models get built all the time. It's the platform and the pipeline that they are used with that will make the difference in ensuring development and delivery at scale, if effective. Using tools associated with carbon neutral platforms will reduce cost and help the environment. Train and deploy. The critical step, often full of iterations, is in training, evaluating, and deploying. Getting a viable model can sometimes be easy with the right data and more difficult when data is missing. Identifying talent in your community and providing training will further support your AI efforts. Gather feedback. Once you have a model released, we want to ensure it's performing effectively for our community. This is another great place to review ethics for compliance. While BARD is for consumers, Vertex AI is our enterprise cloud solution for school systems looking to bring the power of machine learning to their data for deeper institutional insights. With Vertex AI, we bring the ML model to the institution's data versus the other way around. Here's what this could look like in practice. A large language model could be fed institutional documents for historical knowledge, and new hires could query that data with conversational search to get answers to questions like what professional development opportunities best equip new educator hires in the past years. Or in the case of final exams, a district could load previous year's question banks into a system to help educators create comparable assessments for their students. With Vertex AI, privacy and security controls are built into the system. As you build your AI implementation plan, here are some important considerations to ask, important considerations and questions to ask. Factuality. Is your implementation grounding the model to reduce hallucinations and risk the providing of improper and incorrect information? Security. Does your plan or implementation assure compliance and security? For example, full content control so that your data never leaves your organization. Efficiency. Does your plan prioritize efficiency? Can it match the right model to the right job? Accessibility. If you embrace this, is it helping accessibility or widening the accessibility gap? Humanity. Are humans in the loop? Are they part of your feedback process? And manageability. Is your plan and implementation manageable? Does it integrate into your existing product infrastructure? And we'll go ahead and share out some of these other AI resources for developers.
So the future of AI in education is wide open, and there are certainly opportunities and applications that we can't yet imagine. That said, there are very concrete ways AI is being used now that point towards a broad range of future usage. Things such as improving knowledge and learning and deepening one's understanding of the world. It allows us to boost creativity and productivity for students and educators. It allows us to enable innovation at the systems level by providing educational leaders and advanced computing infrastructure. Serve as a teaching assistant to educators, supporting lesson planning and delivery of individual student feedback. It allows us to serve as a personal tutor to students, making learning more personal both in the classroom and at home. Creating intelligent assessments developed based on each student's learning needs to help educators develop rubrics based on large language models feedback. Allows us to create personalized chatbots to onboard educational leaders powered by an LLM at a school's own data. And finally, it helps us make learning more accessible and equitable around the world.
This is one of the largest technological shifts that we will see in our lifetimes. It is going to redefine so much of how we work and what we do across almost every industry. It's so important that we all collectively work together to understand how to best bring this technology into our lives. Within education, we see so much potential.
And so finally, we'll leave off here with some AI resources to get you and your team started. There is a co-branded version of this deck that you can customize and use at events, keynotes, and customer conversations. There is a one-pager that summarizes Google's position on AI in education and our current offerings. This is currently in the process of getting localized in over 20 languages. So look out for those in our partner newsletter and on the localization drive. You also have a recording of this training. This will be available right after this call on our event webpage under the On Demand tab at the top left-hand corner. So you can always come back to this and reference any of the talking points that we've covered today. And then don't forget to check out Partner Cloud Skills Boost and check out the Introduction to Generative AI Learning Path. And then your final port of call is to head to demogfe.com and learn how to demo AI as Clay did today. Thank you very much.
Really appreciate the time. Thanks.
Thanks for driving the slides, Clay. Did a great job. Thank you. Didn't have to say next slide once. It's like I had a personal AI slide advancer.
I think we're up for the Q&A now.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's everything that we wanted to share on this edition of the Partner Briefing. Happy to open it up to the Q&A now. So while we get set up, we also pushed our post-event survey live. So you should see this in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Feel free to let us know if this month's content was helpful for you. And if you have any feedbacks or future topics that you'd like to cover, please feel free to let us know in there. In the meantime, I'll hand over to Peter, who can take us through our Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, Lance. Thanks, Clay. Awesome session on AI. And as you said, let's jump into a few of the great questions that came in via chat while we were listening in. So just a few quick ones on my end. I asked for feedback. We got some great feedback on some of the announcements that we covered. So first one was from Daryl, who had the great feedback of co-branding the adoption scorecard with partner or school logo. Just want to be frank, that is not available today, but that is excellent feedback that we've already shared with the product team who built that solution, and they are keen to get to work on seeing what our options are to integrate that. So we'll hope to have some updates for you there. But thanks for the great feedback, Daryl. Another great question that came through was on Duet AI trials, and we hear loud and clear the same thing you're hearing from customers. We want to trial the functionality. So I am just going to quickly call out that we don't have Duet AI trials today. That is something our product and commerce teams are working hard on, but you do have the ability to offer Duet AI functionality to your customers on a flex plan today. So it's not a trial. It's not no cost, which I know is obviously probably what many of your customers are asking for. But we have seen quite a few customers just buy one license on a flex plan, which if you're not familiar with flex billing, it really allows them to use the product for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just pay what they're using, right? There's no annual commit. There's no minimum quantity. So there is some flexibility with the Duet AI SKU in your partner sales console today that we don't have on our other editions. But all that said, we are working really diligently to try to get those trials available to customers as quickly as humanly possible, and hope to have some good news for this group in the coming months here. But we understand that frustration from customers for sure. There are also some great questions in here just around resources from what's been shared today. And I think Leah and Hannah have done an awesome job of popping those links in there. So please do check those out. A couple other excellent questions in there that I'm not sure we have a lot that can be shared in this medium today. One of them is around Bard being a paid service in the future. I think we all operate under the MO of never say never on anything, but I can tell you there are no plans at this time to make Bard a paid service, certainly not in the education realm. And we'll open the floor up to Jeff, Lance, Clay, if there's anything to add on that front from their perspectives. No.
Covered it well.
Another great question in here that I'm not sure we can go too deep into, but it's on AI detection in originality reports, which of course we've heard loud and clear from a lot of customers. And I certainly don't want to go into a deep dive of our product versus anything else that's out there in the market. But I can just kind of in brief say that our big concern with AI detection in originality reports is reliability. Our initial kind of research and exploration there is reliability is really difficult when it comes to AI detection. And we do not want to put anything out into the market until we have a really high level of confidence that it's doing what it purports to do. So I'll stop before I put my foot in my mouth any further on that topic, but that's kind of our stance there, is we're just not comfortable with the reliability of it. All right, any other questions we need to touch on? Martin had a great question around some renewal behavior, and I know we've got 2 minutes left here, so I don't want to go into a deep dive there. But Martin, I would love to connect with you offline, or the partner team that you're working with and the channel lead you're working with to talk a little bit more about that specific question. It's a really good one.
I can take that offline with Martin.
Okay.
Martin, feel free to ping me directly, and we can chat through that.
Awesome.
Thanks, Martin.
All right. Clay, Jeff, Lance, any questions I've missed? There was a great comment in there around closed captioning not being available for today's session. We will definitely look into that for future sessions. Oh, Hannah already beat me to the punch. Because the session is live, we can't do closed captioning in real time. But when you go to the recording of the session, which are all available on our landing page here, if you click past sessions in demand, you should be able to catch the recording there. All right. Now, Lance, Clay, Jeff, any questions you're seeing that I've missed?
Yeah, Peter, there was one question about, I know we've gotten this question before about AI detection and originality reports. This is a hard one. The team, is well aware of this ask from schools, and I think we don't have too much to share on this right now. The challenge is that originality reports is meant to detect existing content around the web. So someone has already created that content, and I'm taking from that. It's not currently built to detect AI generated content. So the team is kind of looking into what we can do in that area in the future, but nothing to report on that at the moment. Yeah. And then there was also just one question here about Flex being available with a discount. I'm imagining you're talking about Chrome OS Flex. So I think the best thing to do there is talk to your Chrome partner manager, and they should be able to assist you. I think depending on, I think right off the bat there aren't any discounts, but depending on the context, we might be able to give you more information.
Yeah, and I think Jeff, go ahead, Lance.
I was just going to say, Jeff, I think that might have actually been in relation to Duet AI and the term flex used in replace of monthly commitment. That is correct. There is no discount for a monthly commit Duet AI subscription. Duet AI subscriptions for annual commit have a discount baked into them. So if you annual commit with your customer, you can migrate from a monthly commit to an annual commit. So you could use, and the context behind this question was really like, how can you trial AI today? So you could trial Duet AI today if your customer purchased maybe 1 or 2 of the Duet AI Flex licenses or monthly licenses. They can try it out at that price point. If they're happy with the service or they want to commit to the service, they could then transition over to an annual commit. So they could upgrade to an annual commit. Then they would then receive that discount for an annual commit. And for, as we saw at the front end of the briefing, for a short time only till January 15th, if they're an EDU customer, they get an additional 20% discount. So now is the time to really think about an annual commit for Duet AI. So if they're happy with the service, now is definitely the time to invest.
Thanks for jumping in, Lance. I know we are over time, so we will wrap it up there for today. But a huge thank you to everyone who made time to join us live and the many who will watch on the recording. We really appreciate the partnership and the time and look forward to catching up with you all next month.